This time on Woody's Garage. More farting around with the SL350.
Okay, so I didn't like how the carburetors were mounted. That one on the left side looked like it had an air gap. I was having problems with it. It was kind of like sputtering and stuff like that, where the right side seemed to be working good, and lo and behold, I took them apart, and the main jet here had fallen out. I guess I didn't drive it in tight enough, so we took them apart again, give them another clean, go over them. One thing I hadn't done is the float height. Excuse me. The measurement I think we're looking for is 25, if I've read it correctly. And that's about like this. Measuring it with yeah, get on it. That's close enough. That one's not bad, but you go from side to side and they'll be like a little uneven. So, but this is what I'm going from. I mean, when they say 25, I thought maybe from the bottom of the bowl, whatever, but that seemed to be impossible. So it's got to be from here because it's close to that. So I'm going to set them to be 25 like this, vertically, not laying down on its side. And we'll put them back on, and hopefully it'll run a little more evenly. I took it out for a couple of runs, and it's not running great. And I have this suspicion that the top end might not be getting oil, like it's getting hot, and it's starting to shift really stiff. Not good. So I'm going to check right here, see what the oil slinger looks like inside. I don't know if that could block the oil passageway, but I'm going to check it out anyway. It's got a little pry hole you can see right there. You pry it out, and then you just kind of move around the side slowly. That's what the back of the cover looks like right there. And as you can see inside there, there's a clip you got to take off. So after you get the clip out, you take a M6 screw, screw it in, and out comes the filter. See what we got in there. It's getting a little dark outside, but the camera picks it up better than my eye can. And this is what we got on the slinger. This thing goes around like whoosh. It's kind of weird stuff. It seems like it's kind of rubbery. I don't know. Let me clean it up. Oh, I don't like the looks of this. Metal shit. Well, here's a warning. When you take out the plug, look at the size of this mother. And you got these guys open. It just comes out like crazy. And it just spilled all over the place outside of this pan and everything. Definitely some sludge in this drain plug. Not a ton, but some. Okay, here's something I didn't know about. I was kind of worried that the top end wasn't getting oil because it was getting hot. There is a screw right here that you take out. And you start it up. There she goes. I hope you saw that. I'm not going to do it again. I was just wondering, you know, if the thing seems to be getting hot, but I'm guessing it probably has some kind of lean condition on the carburetor since these boots appear to be sealing that well. So we got it idling. We're going to take some carb cleaner, spray at the manifold, and see if the RPMs go up. I think it's a leak now. Don't have my plugs in tight. So that was far from conclusive, but it did alter it. But I mean, you know, you're spraying it at it. I don't know. Go back to timing. Those cheap points I put in. I guess the good thing is the top end's getting oil. Well, it looks like I do need some gaskets for the carburetors. As you can see, I'm right there. They go just before those rubber manifolds. And that could be a reason why it's not running too smoothly. Makes sense to me. So I'm going to try to track some down. Maybe I'll have to make them. I don't know. Okay, I decided to make a set of gaskets for the carburetor, so they got to come off again. So here we go. So we got the manifold off. I have some gasket paper. I'm going to do the outline. I'm going to do the center, but I was wondering, how are you going to cut out the center? And what I found was, let me see if I can find it. Set it aside someplace. A pipe. I think I can pound out the center. I think it'll be sharp enough to knock out the center. Let's see what happens. Okay, we got the basic shape. Now, this is what I measured the hole to be in the 350 engine that's in the basement here. And the manifold is smaller than that. I've got to go out and measure the one out in the engine because I'd like the hole to be right, and this pipe looks like it's going to be too big. But too big might be better than too small. I don't know, I'd like to get it right. What I just found out is the engine I put on has a smaller hole for the manifold than the engine I put on, than the old engine. The 1970 engine is a wider hole than the 71. That's kind of interesting. That's the engine that's on there is very close to the manifold, so we're going to try to match that, I guess. I found a pipe that's just about perfect. I'm actually going to put a little cutting edge on it. Put that edge on it with a grinder. Now we're going to put it down on that and tap it with a hammer a couple of times, and hopefully it'll cut right through. Hey, not bad. Now for those little ones, I have a piece of antenna, you know, like a radio antenna that I've used a bunch of times. You can see what kind of shape it's in because it's so flimsy, but the edge is good for cutting. Let's see if we can get that to work. Well, there's one. You can see it's a little bit off center there, but for those smaller holes I use this. And I kind of put an edge on this, but it didn't help. It took quite a few pounds to get it through, and it was a little tedious. But I think this one will work, so we'll make another one and see how they fit. Well, I've seen better gaskets, but not today. Hopefully these will work. That pounding with the old bolt there is very tedious. You got to do it for a long time and not move off the mark, but it obliterates the material after a while. I had a leather punch around someplace, but gee, where would it be? And I don't clean up my workspace like I should. Can't find shit. So I'm going to grease these down a little bit. Makes them less likely to stick next time you take them off. And they look pretty good. I mean, geez, factory, right? Yeah. It seems to be running about the same. Oh, look at now the idle's rising up a little bit. That kind of means an air leak. Even with the gasket. Okay, we're going to adjust the points again and the timing again. I did it following somebody's video online that said don't bother setting the points. I mean, get them rough. Set the plate right in the middle, and then set the timing from there. So we're going to try it by the way the book is this time, because I think the engine's getting hot and I don't like it. And by the way, I got it kind of leaned back against that pole there. You can kind of tell so that all the oil doesn't pour out of here since I just changed it. But I'm also noticing that, like, yeah, I just changed it actually. You know, after draining it good, and it's still got goop in it. So it's gonna take a few changes before all that crap's out. But okay, let's. I'm gonna. Oh, another thing too. This was a gasket for the points, and I'm noticing all this oil down here. And yeah, I've been spraying tons of oil around and stuff like that. I'm going to take off the points plate, I think, and take a look behind it and make sure there's not a seal blown back there or something. And that's the advanced mechanism in there. And that's supposed to be sticky. Looks okay, a little tarnished. I don't think we have an oil leak in here, just some dirt. I think I'm going to try to clean out of there with Q-tips. This plate is a very tight fit in here, and I remember trying to move it back and forth with that and having a big problem chewing it all up. So I'm going to take a file a little bit to the outside and hope it doesn't cause too much damage. But I can't even get it in there now. I went around it fairly evenly with the file, and I still had to tap it in, but I can move it now with the adjuster on top, albeit it's a little tough, but I don't want to take too much off either. I mean, it's somewhat precise piece, right? So I don't want to screw it up too much. Okay, I'll slap the points on. Okay, last night as it was getting dark, I did the ignition timing again, set the points, all that kind of crap. And I went to put the plugs back in, and this one felt really weird. Now if you look in here, this thing and the other side I noticed has had a helicoil. I didn't notice this, I probably should have, but it looks like this one is moving in towards the cylinder. So right now I'm a little paranoid that there's something, you know, piece broke off in there or something. Although, you know, it was dark, like I said. I put the plug in. I noticed this difference here with the how far in the threads start. And, you know, just as I'm laying in bed thinking like, oh Jesus, we got a real problem. So I don't really know what to do at this stage. Kind of freaked out that a piece broke off in there. Maybe a piece already broke off in there and the cylinder's all scored up or whatever. So my first thoughts this morning was just sell it as a project. I can't afford to do this. But you know, I wish I had known this, and I didn't know it. It does look like the plug seats, and you know, maybe that is solid the way it is. I don't know. I should probably like get the vacuum cleaner and see if I can see if there's a piece of it in there, or that might not have moved. It might have always been this way and I'm just noticing it now. Okay, we're now looking on the right side. Yeah, you can see that helicoil now that you know it's there. I'm also taking a magnet and putting it down in there. See if it gets anything. Not a damn thing on either side. Well, it might be okay to run. Put a little grease on the plugs. Try to seat them. I saw a little smoke coming out of the right side cylinder, not this one, the other one, and that made me also suspect that maybe a piece broke off. But you know, there could be a lot of crud in the pipes too that's burning off. It's just really hard to tell at this stage. Well, I just started it up and it sounded really good, and I put it in gear, and it was like the clutch wasn't adjusted. It just, you know, started taking off, which is weird because nothing down there has changed. So now I'll probably get a clutch pop. Who knows? Okay. It's actually running not too bad. Not perfect, but the best it probably has been running. You can hear it. Shift's kind of hard. The clutch is still not right. It's freaking me out. I just tightened and lubed up this god-awful chain. It's got some twists in it that you just would not believe. I was going to pull it off again, then I thought about threading it through there, and I just said, I actually do have a brand new chain and sprocket that I bought, but I don't want to put them on right now. We're too in the preliminary stages of this thing. But the adjusters are all wanked. So it's really hard to get a nice even adjustment on it. The right-hand carb is overflowing too, despite the fact that I set the floats to spec. So, I don't know if there's a piece of crud in them or what. I just gave it a wrap. But, well, I'm pouring out right now, of course. Bike up straight. There it goes. Fuck you. Okay, I just took the bowl off the right side carb, and you can see when the float was down, the gas is just gushing out, but even when my finger's holding it all the way up, it's still leaking. So what that means is it's got a bad seat and valve, so I think we're going to swap those out. I think we got that. I hate to admit it, it was a loose seat. So just tightened it up and we're good. Another jog around the block, and still kind of running crappy. It's not leaking gas. Shifting kind of hard. I don't like that at all. Not leaking any oil on this side any longer. Maybe it's out. Well, I've taken a few days off from working on this thing, but today I want to see what kind of voltage is coming out of the stator to this junction box here I made up, and I'm going to need to disconnect all the wires and see if I can read the voltage starting it up. There's a little sticky on Honda Twins forum that I'm going to follow and see if I get the same readings that they got. So here's my instructions. So what I'm looking for is AC volts. From the yellow and pink wires, voltage should climb as revs do, but should be at least 25 to 30 VAC at idle, preferably higher. So we got everything unplugged, and we're going to see if we can get that. I don't think I've ever measured AC on at least on a motorcycle before, so I'm going to have to fool around with the voltmeter, I think, to get a reading. Let's find out. I'll tell you, it's been a few days since I did this and I determined the colors, but that's got to be pink. This has got to be greenish. Does that mean yellow? God, I can't remember what I plugged into. Oh, crap. I just unplugged them too, so I think we're going to get it started and we'll just see what we get on the voltmeter. If we can even start it, right? So then I took the voltmeter and I put it on the battery, and the battery I could only get like 10 to 11 volts, even with a slight rev. I mean, it should be up to at least 12. The battery is a piece of crap, I do know that. Obviously I hitched the leads back up, and I took a little ride around the block just for the heck of it, because I choked up on the clutch adjustment a little bit, tightened it up a little bit. And it seemed to shift a little better until I got back here. Then it seemed to be a little stiff again. So I'm hoping there's not something wrong with the transmission. And obviously a bad battery, I think, in these machines is a problem trying to diagnose it. So let me see if I can find a little more information out about that, or ask my own question on the Honda Twins for it. Still got smoke coming from the top end. I just took it for another ride. The clutch adjustment a little higher, and it's still a little stiff. I don't know. Is this thing running hot? Appears to be. Now, one step forward, two steps back, as usual. It feels hot. We did check the oil that comes out of there, and it's getting oil to the top end. When I go around the block, there's one little hill that I have to go up. So, I've been really going slow because I, don't know if that chain is going to lock up or whatever. And so I have to go up this hill, and when I give it acceleration, it definitely bogs down. And I'm not quite sure if that's carburation or electrical or what. So we got the same mess pretty much. Not much has been resolved. It's definitely the year of the mushroom. Look at those beauties. What a work of art. Anyway, so I just went and sat down and said, like, what can I do about this bike? It's still not running right. Still seems to be hot. And you go and you do all the timing again. You set the valves again. La 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 la. You can see why I put it aside the other day. So looking at the plugs now. I mean, what's that look like? It looks like it's running rich. But it seems like it's running hot. Look at that very tip there. Let's look at the other one. This is the left side. Another thing about this is, like, I've been inside for like 15 minutes and I came out and this plug is still really hot. I don't think it should be that hot. And this is the right side plug. Looks, I guess, about the same as the other one. But I'm not starting with a fresh plug. Yeah, I think I'll clean these up, but I still think this thing is running hot. Okay, well, I mean, the bike still feels hot. It's been a while, so it's definitely running lean. But the spark plugs don't show it. I'm not running any air filters. Would that help? The main jets in it are 120s, which I believe are stock. The slow jet, I think in this case, wouldn't matter as far as I know. I don't know. Any ideas? Go through the whole timing procedure again. I seem to have gotten it spot on. Second time I've done it. I don't know, valves. What else could it be? Why is it getting hot? You tell me.